Making headlines. The president calls upon Malaysian businesses to seize new opportunities in the Maldives, highlighting a vision for a stronger, more inclusive and future-ready nation. Economic Minister Mohammed Saeed has said the growth of the private sector remains vital to the Maldives, realizing its vision to be a developed nation by the year 2040. And the first medical legal conference in the Maldives has kicked off at the Maldives National University. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Abdullah Ahil. And now, the news in detail. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz has announced a significant advancement in relations between the Maldives and Malaysia following high-level bilateral discussions during his official visit to Malaysia. The consultations, which spanned a range of strategic sectors, underscored the enduring partnership between the two nations and laid the groundwork for enhanced collaboration. The announcement came during a joint press statement issued by President Dr. Muiz and Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, where both leaders reflected on the 57-year diplomatic relationship between their countries. President Dr. Muiz expressed his gratitude for the warm reception extended to him in Malaysia and acknowledged the nation's substantial contributions to the Maldives over the decades. Highlighting the depth of this partnership, the president noted Malaysia's pivotal role in the development of Maldivian civil servants through the Malaysian Technical Cooperation Program. He said over 600 scholarships have been awarded to Maldivians for higher education in Malaysia. The discussions culminated in the signing of agreements across key sectors including health, tourism, sports, financial services, and diplomatic training. The president underscored the tangible benefits these arrangements would bring to the Maldives, describing them as a testament to the mutual advantages of strengthened collaboration.
Over the decades, our partnership has matured into one characterized by high-level cooperation and people-to-people exchanges. I would like to thank the Prime Minister, the government and people of Malaysia for the generous assistance and cooperation extended to the Maldives over the years, especially in developing our human resource capacity.
Expanding on the scope of cooperation, the president outlined aspirations to deepen ties in critical areas such as defense, information technology, artificial intelligence, and cybersecurity. Economic cooperation emerged as a central theme, with President Dr. Muiz detailing plans to provide Malaysian investors with comprehensive information on opportunities within the Maldives. He pointed to prospects in the Special Economic Zone or SEZ, as well as the nation's digital and maritime economies and financial services. President Dr. Muiz expressed his appreciation to Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim for accepting an invitation to participate in the Maldivian Investment Forum. As the discussions drew to a close, President Dr. Muiz turned his attention to climate change resilience and environmental goals, underscoring their importance to both nations. He extended a formal invitation to Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim to visit the Maldives.
Our discussions paved the way for future collaboration in several promising areas. I also express our keen interest in expediting and concluding MOUs in the field of defense and other important areas. Malaysia's advancement and leadership in the halal industry and digital economy are truly commendable. I deeply appreciate the Prime Minister's willingness to share Malaysia's expertise with us,
further solidifying the partnership between the two countries. President Dr. Muiz's official visit to Malaysia is scheduled to conclude on the 30th of April. Malaysia's Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has praised President Dr. Mohamed Muiz and the Maldivian government for their recent legislative amendment barring the entry of individuals holding Israeli passports. The decision, which has drawn significant international attention, was celebrated during President Dr. Muiz's official visit to Malaysia following discussions aimed at strengthening bilateral ties. The Prime Minister described the Maldives' stance on Palestine as both principled and resolute, underscoring the alignment of policies between the two nations. The shared policies of the two nations, he said, reflect the unwavering commitment to the Palestinian cause. This shared commitment was further reflected in Malaysia's long-standing refusal to recognize Israel as a state. Prime Minister Ibrahim attributed this policy to what he characterized as Israel's persistent violations of human rights and disregard for international laws. He framed Malaysia's position as a repudiation of the genocide committed against Palestinians, particularly in Gaza. The Maldives legislative decision, Prime Minister Ibrahim noted, exemplifies bold leadership. He described the decision as a courageous act, expressing deep respect for the Maldives' resolve in standing with Palestine. The amendment to the Maldives Immigration Act, ratified by President Muiz on the 15th of April, formally prohibits Israeli passport holders from entering the country. The Maldivian government has stated that this measure was enacted in response to what it described as inhumane actions and genocide perpetrated by the Zionist state, which it asserts seeks to erase Palestinian identity. President Dr. Muiz has consistently advocated for the Palestinian cause on international platforms. He has called for the establishment of an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital, based on the borders established prior to 1967. He also urged the international community to grant Palestine full membership in the United Nations, describing such recognition as essential for justice and sovereignty. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz has called upon Malaysian businesses to seize new opportunities in the Maldives, highlighting a vision for a stronger, more inclusive, future-ready nation.
In a keynote address at the Maldives Malaysia Business Forum 2025, President Dr. Muiz extended a strong invitation to Malaysian businesses, positioning the Maldives as a dynamic and strategic partner in its journey towards becoming a fully developed nation by 2040, marking 75 years of independence. He stressed that this transformation could not be achieved alone, highlighting the need for partnerships that complement each nation's strengths. The President showcased the Maldives' revitalized Special Economic Zone SEZs, offering attractive incentives for forward-looking investors. He assured potential partners that the Maldives is committed to building strong, trusted and mutually beneficial relationships. He stressed that the Maldives is serious about welcoming the world's best partners and doing so on solid, trusted ground. Highlighting the strategic advantages of the Maldives, the President pointed to its prime location along key shipping routes, making it an ideal hub for maritime and logistics investments. He also emphasized the ongoing strength of Maldives' world-renowned tourism sector, noting the substantial opportunities for investment in hospitality and ecotourism. The Maldives Malaysia Business Forum is a significant step in deepening economic ties between the two countries, with President Dr. Mohamed Muiz's address setting a hopeful and ambitious tone for future collaborations.
The government has opened more than key 50 infrastructure development projects to foreign investors during the Maldives Malaysia Business Forum 2025.
The Business Forum held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, as part of President Dr. Muiz's ongoing official visit to Malaysia, which attracts a large number of Malaysian investors and businessmen, offered investment opportunities for 52 projects in the Maldives. Some of the projects open to foreign investors include infrastructure development, health, higher education, sports, air development, tourism, fisheries and marine development, energy, creative economy, banking and finance, as well as ICT. In addition, several projects in the current government's presidential manifesto were also offered to foreign investment, including projects such as the development of a tourism training facility, a national arts school, a medical school with a teaching hospital, a faculty of agriculture and food science, a fisheries college, medical tourism and sports fishing development. Speaking to PSM News on the sidelines of the forum, Minister of Economic Development and Trade, Minister Mohamed Said, said that many projects have been open to investors in line with the President's vision. The projects include direct foreign investments, private partnerships and joint ventures with the government. Business forums have been held during President Muiz's state visits in the past, including India, Dubai and China. The government is working to hold similar forums in other countries.
The Minister of Economic Development and Trade, Mohammad Saeed, has said the growth of the private sector remains vital to the Maldives, realizing its vision to be a developed nation by the year 2040.
Speaking during the opening ceremony of Maldives-Malaysia Business Forum 2025 as part of President Dr. Mohamed Muiz's ongoing visit to Malaysia, Minister Said said the hosting of the forum is testament to the ever-expanding trade and investment relations between the two countries. He added that this forum would offer a pathway for private businesses to seek out investment and trade opportunities in the two countries. The minister also pointed out that Maldives is currently in a good position in terms of development and progress, adding that the incumbent government was working under a special roadmap to realize President Dr. Muiz's vision to transform the Maldives into a developed nation by the year 2040. He insisted that the growth and progress of the private sector remains critical to realizing that vision. Minister Said also alluded to the recently passed foreign investment law, which he said will provide the required legal protection to foreign investors while allowing them to do business transparently and contribute to the growth of Maldives' economy. Speaking during the ceremony, Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry of Malaysia, Tengku Zafrul Aziz, noted the multitude of opportunities that the forum will open up for business community of both countries. Minister Tengku said, trade between Maldives and Malaysia has increased by 4% in 2024 compared to the previous year, adding that this forum will pave way for enhanced trade exchanges.
The Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources, Ahmad Shiam, said financial access to fishermen through Bank of Maldives BML has enabled the long overdue state recognition of local fishermen.
BML has entered into a Memorandum of Understanding MOU with the Ministry to facilitate easy access to finance for fishermen. The agreement was formally signed by Minister Shiam and BML CEO and Managing Director Mohammed Sharif during a ceremony on Monday. The incumbent government has initiated several initiatives to address the concerns of local fishermen. The National Fishermen's Registry was established to promote financial inclusion and empowerment of local fishermen. The new collaboration with BML will enable fishermen registered on the National Fishermen's Registry to access a variety of credit facilities, including personal financing, credit cards, home loans based on their income. Under the new agreement, eligible fishermen can access personal financing without collateral or equity requirements. For the first time, the repayment schedules will be structured considering seasonal variations in fishing income. Speaking after signing the MOU, Minister Shiam said, before today, fishermen were ineligible for most financial products offered by financial institutions as their income lacks official verification. But now, they have delivered long overdue state recognition to fishermen. This administration, since taking over, has initiated significant efforts to enhance and diversify the country's fisheries industry. The government has pledged to alleviate the issues faced by local fishermen within the next 3 years.
The first medico-legal conference in the Maldives has kicked off at the Maldives National University, MNU. Hosted by the School of Medicine at MNU, the conference has been described as a significant step in advancing dialogue between the fields of medicine, law, and ethics. In addition to Maldives, 7 other participating countries have submitted research papers to the conference. The opening ceremony of the 3-day conference was inaugurated by Dr. Shah Mahir, Deputy CEO of Dharmawanta Hospital. Speaking at the ceremony, Dr. Shah Mahir highlighted the current legal issues in the health system, including the lack of legal protection for patients and healthcare workers caused by medical negligence. He quoted, "There is no adequate mortuary service in the Maldives. There is no autopsy and other essential facilities. Recently, the health system has seen an increase in dangerous incidents. There is no legal protection for patients and healthcare workers," he explained. Out of the participating countries, including India, Nepal, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, and Romania, Algeria and Scotland will submit 51 different research papers during the conference. The conference will feature keynote speakers and presentations from experts in the field. On the last day of the conference, a workshop will be held for educators on how to identify children who are vulnerable to various forms of abuse and how to provide assistance to children in such situations. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz has sent messages to the King of the Netherlands, King Willem-Alexander, and the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, Hendrikus Wilhelmus Maria Schoof, on the occasion of King's Day. In his message, the President extended warm greetings and sincere good wishes on behalf of the government and the people of the Maldives to the King, the government, and the people of the Netherlands on the jubilant occasion of the King's birthday. President Dr. Muiz further conveyed his best wishes for King Willem-Alexander's good health and happiness, as well as for the continued prosperity and progress of the people of the Netherlands. In his separate message to the Prime Minister, President Dr. Muiz extended warm greetings and best wishes of the government and the people of the Maldives to the Prime Minister, the government, and the people of the Netherlands on the joyous occasion of King's Day. The President also expressed his best wishes for the Prime Minister's good health and well-being and for the further prosperity and progress of the people of the Netherlands. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz has extended heartfelt greetings to the President of South Africa, Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, on the occasion of the Freedom Day of South Africa. In his message, the President conveyed his heartfelt greetings and sincere good wishes on behalf of the government and the people of the Maldives to the President, the government, and the people of South Africa on the momentous occasion. The President further extended his best wishes for the President's good health and happiness, as well as for the continued progress and prosperity of the people of South Africa. International Monetary Fund members countries said that rising trade tensions were sapping growth and fueling uncertainty as well as market and financial stability risks, but reaffirmed their commitment to the institution as critical to helping countries navigate a difficult environment.
In the chair's statement, the IMF Steering Committee also reaffirmed prior foreign exchange commitments and voiced support for a realignment of quotas or shareholding that better reflects countries' positions in the global economy. The message comes at the end of a tense week for policymakers and investors, anxious about US President Donald Trump's move to upend global trade and his commitment to international institutions. Saudi Arabia's Finance Minister Mohammed Al Jadaan, who chairs the International Monetary and Financial Committee IMFC, said the fund must continue to focus on its core mandates, including expanding trade and growth. IMF's Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva acknowledged that the raft of current geopolitical flare-ups, especially Trump's push to redesign world trade with a barrage of tariffs, had distracted from discussions about other pressing challenges, including artificial intelligence, in public and behind closed doors. She said it was encouraging that members had been able to engage in open conversations and share their views in a fair space, but said she didn't want to minimize the discord.
An update on international events. Israel faced accusations of breaking international law by refusing to let aid into the Gaza Strip when dozens of nations present arguments at the International Court of Justice during a week of hearings which started on Monday at The Hague.
Israel faced accusations of breaking international law by refusing to let aid into the Gaza Strip at the International Court of Justice at the start of the hearings in The Hague. Representatives of UN and Palestinians opened the hearing, to which dozens of countries are participating over a week.
That's really the heart of why Palestine and over 40 other states are addressing the court today. It is not about the number of aid trucks Israel is or is not allowing into the occupied Palestinian territory, especially Gaza. It is not about Israel destroying it is about Israel destroying the fundamentals of life in Palestine, while it blocks UN and other humanitarians from providing life-saving aid to the population. It is about Israel unraveling fundamental principles of international law, including their obligations under the UN Charter. It is about Israel turning Palestine, in particularly Gaza, into a mass grave for Palestinians and those coming to their aid.
Since March 2nd, Israel completely cut off all supplies to the 2.3 million residents of Gaza Strip, and food stockpile during a ceasefire at the start of the year has all but run out. In December, the UN's top court was tasked to form an advisory opinion on Israel's obligations to facilitate aid to Palestinians that is delivered by states and international groups, including the United Nations. Germany, France and Britain last week called on Israel to adhere to international law by allowing the unhindered passage of humanitarian aid into Gaza, after Israel reiterated that no aid would be allowed to enter Gaza in order to pressure Hamas.
When Saudi Arabia's Red Sea port of Jeddah hosted Formula One star Lewis Hamilton and U.S. singer Jennifer Lopez during its Grand Prix this month, visitors found they were also drawn to a less obvious attraction, the historic Old Town.
KCNA state news agency cited North's ruling party has said that the victorious end of the battle to liberate Russia's Kursk region showed the highest strategic level of the firm militant friendship between North Korea and Russia. The Central Military Commission of the North's ruling Workers' Party said leader Kim Jong-un made the decision to deploy troops under the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Treaty he signed with Putin last year. North Korea sent an estimated total of 14,000 troops, including 3,000 reinforcements to replace its losses, Ukrainian officials have said. Lacking armed vehicles and drone warfare experience, they took heavy casualties but adapted quickly.
Nintendo fans were given a chance to try out the company's new Switch 2 gaming device at an event near Tokyo ahead of a release that some worry could be overshadowed by tariffs driving up prices.
Jeddah is known for being the kingdom's modern commercial hub, and the exodus of its merchant class meant its old town had fallen into neglect. The kingdom's ambitious Vision 2030 planned to diversify its economy and make itself less dependent on oil, however, has included revitalizing culture to lure tourism revenue. Visitors who came for the F1 event found they loved the slower pace of the restored Old Jeddah. Known in Arabic as Al-Balad, the town has the feel of previous centuries with its Arabic-style wooden architecture in brown and blue colors that reflect the city's location between the sand of the Arabian desert and the sea. Al-Balad was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2014. Since then, the government has accelerated plans to restore about 650 buildings and revive the district's old local businesses.
Yes, we are having a lot of numbers going on, and Saudi Arabia is open now for tourism, and the country has, as I said before, so many different architecture heritage in Saudi Arabia.
UNESCO cited historic Jeddah as the only surviving urban ensemble of the Red Sea, where coral stone tower houses adorned with Roshan wooden balconies stand alongside mosques as old as the advent of Islam, when the third Caliph Uthman bin Affan declared the city to be Makkah's official port.
That's all the news we have for today. We will be back with any further updates. Until then, I'm Abdullah Ahil from PSM News.